What happens when tradition collides with bold self-expression? When love is celebrated not just in words, but in colors that break the mold? That's exactly what fans witnessed when Houston rapper Monaleo tied the knot with fellow artist Stunna for Vegas in a wedding that had the internet buzzing. Not just because of their vows, not just because of the romance, but because of one unforgettable detail that stole the spotlight: her wedding gown. It wasn't white, it wasn't ivory, it was pink. And that single choice sent shockwaves across timelines worldwide, transforming an intimate ceremony into a cultural conversation. The celebration took place on September 19th, but thanks to social media, the whole world was invited. Monaleo, known for her unapologetically feminine rap persona and her hit Putting Ya Dean, didn't just walk down the aisle, she curated a spectacle. She gave fans a digital front row seat by live streaming the nuptials on TikTok. The event, lovingly branded Stunna for Leo, became an online festival of love, music, and fashion. From the mirrored aisle reflecting the glow of the couple's new chapter, to the sight of Stunna, decked out in his own pink suit, breaking down in tears as his bride floated toward him, every moment was cinematic. But the real star of the night? That blush pink princess gown? Social media couldn't get enough. Within minutes of Monaleo stepping into frame, TikTok and Instagram lit up with comments, "I want a pink wedding dress now." The dress, the decorations, the man crying, the song? 10 out of 10, no notes. People weren't just admiring the gown, they were projecting their own fantasies onto it. For so long, brides have felt bound to the tradition of white, ivory, or champagne-colored dresses. And suddenly, here was a bride boldly rewriting the script, dressed like a fairy tale character who belonged to herself, not to convention. The mastermind behind the viral gown was Gbemi Okunlola, founder of Alonuko Bridal, a London-based fashion brand known for pushing boundaries while centering inclusivity. Okunlola is no stranger to high-profile clients. Her designs have adorned stars like Danielle Brooks from The Color Purple and singer-actress LaToya Luckett. But with Monaleo, she created something that resonated beyond celebrity circles. She remembered the bride's first reaction vividly. She saw it and was like, "Oh my gosh, it's really pink." She couldn't stop staring at herself in the mirror. You could see her falling in love with herself in the dress before the wedding even began. And that joy translated across millions of screens. The craftsmanship was jaw-dropping. Constructed with layers of chantilly lace and soft tulle, the dress featured Okunlola's signature hand-embroidered mesh designed to match the skin tone of women of color, a detail that has made her gowns revolutionary. During the height of the pandemic, this technique gained international recognition for giving brides of color an option that truly reflected their beauty. On top of that, the gown was hand-embellished with hundreds of thousands of Japanese glass microbeads. Imagine that, tiny beads, each carefully stitched, catching the light as Monaleo walked, turning her into a living constellation. This was more than a dress. It was wearable art, carrying an estimated price tag between $20,000 and $33,000. But the moment it created? Priceless, and yet what made the wedding unforgettable wasn't just the gown itself. Monaleo and Stunna embraced tradition while reshaping it to reflect who they are. Their decision to have their grandmothers serve as flower girls was a powerful, tender gesture that resonated with viewers across the globe. It wasn't just cute, it was symbolic, honoring their roots and weaving family history into the fabric of their future. The ceremony wasn't simply about aesthetics. It was about identity, heritage, and joy. Wedding experts have pointed out that Monaleo's choices align with a growing cultural shift. Brides today are stepping away from rigid traditions and embracing authenticity. Some are choosing colored gowns. Others are incorporating cultural rituals, unconventional venues, or personal vows. Monaleo's wedding sits right at the heart of this transformation. She didn't reject tradition entirely. She jumped the broom, an act rich with history in African American culture. But she made sure every element of the day reflected her individuality. It's a blueprint for modern love stories. Respect the past, but design the present in your own colors. The ripple effect of her gown is already evident. Designer Gbemi Okunlola has since shared that inquiries are flooding in from brides who want non-traditional gowns: lilac, red, even bolder shades of pink. On TikTok, countless women are confessing that they've always dreamed of a colorful dress, but didn't think it was possible until Monaleo walked down that mirrored aisle. The pink gown has become more than a trend. It's a cultural permission slip, encouraging brides everywhere to embrace what feels right. Not just what's expected, but here's the thing. This isn't the first time a celebrity has used fashion to shake up the wedding world. Let's zoom out for a second. Think back to Sarah Jessica Parker in the 90s, marrying Matthew Broderick in a black gown that shocked fashion critics but is still talked about decades later. Or Gwen Stefani's dip-dyed pink and white Dior gown in 2002, which blurred the line between punk and princess. More recently, Kourtney Kardashian's gothic Dolce & Gabbana mini dress in Italy challenged ideas of what bridal wear could be. Each of these moments, like Monaleo's, didn't just turn heads, they changed conversations. They proved that weddings are cultural stages, where personal choice can rewrite tradition for millions watching at home. Monaleo's pink gown now stands proudly in that lineage. But what makes her moment feel different is the timing. In a digital-first era, where a TikTok livestream can attract millions of viewers, the impact of her decision was amplified in real time. People weren't waiting for glossy magazine spreads weeks later. They were reacting instantly, leaving comments, sharing clips, and even planning their own weddings inspired by what they saw. The immediacy of social media turned a private choice into a public trend. The gown also taps into something deeper about Monaleo's artistry. Her rap persona has always leaned into feminine aesthetics, girly, unapologetic, and bold. The pink dress wasn't just a fashion statement, it was brand consistency. She has built a career on turning hyperfemininity into power, and this gown carried that energy into the most personal day of her life. Fans weren't just seeing her as a bride. They were seeing her as Monaleo, the artist, the woman, the visionary. And let's not overlook Stunna 4 Vegas, who made his own style statement in a pink suit, perfectly complementing his bride. Their coordinated looks weren't just about fashion, they symbolized partnership. They showed that marriage isn't about blending into someone else's vision, but about creating something unified, bold, and beautiful together. The sight of him crying as she walked toward him is already iconic, a meme-worthy moment that fans are replaying not to laugh, but to feel. It reminded millions of viewers that vulnerability is powerful, that love can disarm even the toughest personas. So what does this all mean for the bigger picture? It means weddings are evolving. They're no longer about adhering to rigid guidelines handed down for generations. They're about storytelling. They're about saying, this is who we are, this is what matters to us, and this is how we choose to celebrate it. Whether it's a pink dress, grandmothers as flower girls, or live streaming your vows to millions, the message is the same. Love looks different for everyone, and that difference is worth celebrating. On September 19th, Monaleo and Stunna 4 Vegas didn't just get married, they created a cultural moment. They gave the world a new vision of what a wedding could be. And the pink gown, shimmering with microbeads, floating down a mirrored aisle, will live on as an image not just of love, but of change. A reminder that even in traditions as old as marriage, there is always room for reinvention. Now, I want to hear from you. Would you dare to wear a pink wedding dress? Or maybe lilac or fiery red or even something metallic and futuristic? If you could design your perfect wedding, would you follow tradition or create your own? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm dying to know how you'd put your own twist on one of life's biggest celebrations. And if you loved diving into this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep bringing you the biggest, boldest, and most inspiring moments from the world of celebrity and culture. Because sometimes it's not the scandals or the controversies that define a star. It's the beauty of how they choose to love, and how that love inspires us all. Monaleo's pink gown isn't just fashion history. It's a reminder that love is most powerful when it's truly your own.